Love the personal breakdowns on Alabama football from Stephen M. Smith. Touchdown Alabama. Catch him each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on YouTube. In my own words, it's at 6 Central Time. Give Stephen a call on Bama and the SEC. Stephen, how you doing today?
Doing great, Mark. I can't complain here. We're getting ready for the A-Day game on Saturday in Tuscaloosa, 2 p.m. Central Time. Coach Saban wearing the salmon blazer. Going to get a chance to see, which side of the ball works the best. Fans will have a lot of details into all of the newness taking place in Tuscaloosa.
Has anyone ever asked him or had the nerve to say, Coach, you should probably take that blazer on into the season? It's a good look.
I mean, a few people have wanted to propose that question, Mark, because Miss Terry does a fantastic job at dressing Nick, whether it's the salmon blazer, whether it's the laser, the sharp blue one that they got from Aflac. He's got another blue one as well. He's got a nice silver-looking one. So Miss Terry tailors the suit game nicely for Coach Saban. So we've wondered why he has not gone more of that style in the regular season, but I guess he just saves it for the spring game.
So, Stephen, as soon as you can take your eyes off Coach Saban and that salmon blazer, what are the hot spots, hot button topics, narratives, units on both sides of the ball that are going to catch your eye?
Well, first and foremost, everybody's looking at the quarterback race here between Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson. One of note, new offensive coordinator Tommy Rees coming in from Notre Dame has done a great job all spring teaching, developing both young men and all 4 quarterbacks in the room. When you also bring up the 2 freshmen, Dylan Larnigan and Eli Holstein. But the big thing for Milroe and Simpson, which one can protect the football, right? Which one can protect the football, maneuver the offense, make explosive plays, have the proper decision-making, all of these things. The beauty of this year's team, Mark, is you don't have to have the Superman quarterback like a Bryce Young. The last 2 teams kind of needed that. This year's team, the offensive line has really taken on that leadership role. The defense is expected to be a whole lot better under Kevin Steele. You're going to be able to run the football, have multiple ways to run the football. So this year's group, it will not need that superhuman effort there from Bryce Young. A quarterback that can just really, truly, protect the football, still make those explosive plays, but win it at a different style.
Well, Stephen, you know what the talk is out there, that Coach Saban isn't necessarily too happy with the performance and development of Milroe and Simpson at this point, and that this program might be on the market for a quarterback in the transfer portal, and one Tyler Van Dyke of Miami's been thrown out there.
He has been thrown out there, and Van Dyke has a lot of promise. He has a lot of potential, at that position. But at the same time, I think the one thing that Saban wants from Milroe and Simpson is just a slight bit more consistency. What I've heard from people I've spoken to at the scrimmages, whether it's been boosters, whether it's been donors, whether it's been, players out there, Saban loves both guys. He loves Milroe. He loves Simpson. The one thing he just wants to see is which one can clean up the small inconsistency and just really, truly take over as that guy. I kind of look at this Alabama team like the 2011 Alabama team. It's quite the same mirror image of each other. 2011, you had the powerful offensive line. You had the elite defense right there. You had strong running backs in Trent Richardson and Eddie Lacy, and you had a quarterback conversation between A.J. McCarron and Phillip Sims that went through spring ball, that went through summer workouts, that went through fall camp, that went through even the first game of the season against Kent State, where both young men tossed an interception, and it was until week 2 against Penn State, Alabama goes up to Happy Valley taking on Joe Paterno, and Nick Saban just kind of rolls the dice and says, AJ, we're banking this on you. And McCarron goes out there and managed the game beautifully, played exceptionally well. Alabama won the game 27-11, and A.J. McCarron became the starter from there on out. So it kind of looks just like that 2011 Alabama season, just about.
So the team will have 14 practices under its belt by the time it hits the field on Saturday. based on your observations as you get a look at practice occasionally. Obviously, you've got a limited media exposure, but you do get out there, and then everyone else in regards to your conversations with coaches and players. What seem to be the guys that have maybe made a name for themselves or been able to make an impact in terms of their status on the depth chart?
Well, right now, first and foremost, freshman running back Justice Haynes, the five-star from Buford High School in Georgia, has made a tear in spring practice. I mean, they can't stop him. No one can stop this young man, whether it's him running the football, him catching the ball out of the backfield. Coach Saban, after the second scrimmage, said verbatim, if you were just a guy sitting out there on the log watching, you would not recognize that Justice Haynes was a freshman. I mean, he carries himself bigger than a freshman. I mean, this young man at 5'11", over 200 pounds, he has a Mark Ingram workman-like mentality. The way he competes and goes about his business, it's something special. And he has worked his way into that conversation of he's going to get a lot of playing time out there on the field. Another guy to keep your eyes off of is another freshman. This one on defensively is Caleb Downs from Georgia, defensive back, and a guy that looks the part already, as a safety. Could find himself in one of these two safety roles. He's had a really good spring. Another guy, you look at Big James Smith from Carver High School in Montgomery on the defensive line. He's torn it up throughout the spring. Tresman Marshall, a transfer from Georgia at that inside linebacker position. Saban talks about his toughness, his maturity at that position, the experience he's gained from being up under Kirby Smart for a couple of years. So there's several guys on the offensive line. That's the group that's really brought in the leadership. And whether it's J.C. Latham at right tackle, Tyler Booker at right guard, Seth McLaughlin at center, who's been wearing a run-the-ball hat every single day in practice, Darian Dalcourt at left guard, Elijah Pritchett at left tackle. This entire offensive line has gone to work every single practice. Eric Wolford, of whom Tyler Booker says he's the good kind of crazy, he has brought the physicality back on the offensive line, and these guys understand what he wants from them, and they are putting it into action. But on the defensive line, Freddie Roach has gotten the mentality of, I'm going to use the entire rotation, and he's using everybody. Jamil Burrows has had a great spring. Tim Smith's had a great spring. Damon Payne and Tim Keeney III have grown tremendously. Monkel Goodwin has shown growth. Everybody across the board, Freddie Roach is thinking, I got to keep fresh bodies out here. I've got to rotate these guys. So the defensive line and the offensive lines, you're hearing the pads popping. Both sides of the ball are doing fantastic all spring. Like I mentioned, Mark, this could be a team right here. Should everything around in the play, physical, nasty, it could be a very elite football team.
Steve, that run the ball hat reminds me that you are one of the founding members of the No Sleep Team club, and you should probably have a hat that says, Team No Sleep.
You know what, Mark? Me and the team, we're working with some designers to get that hat made for me. So don't be surprised in the next month or so. I'll be rocking some new NIL merchandise with that statement.
Nice. Absolutely.